Hi there, my name is Kay Moon, and this is a video about the full moon in Cancer 2020 happening on December 29th, 2020 at 10:28 p.m. If you happen to be on the eastern seaboard of the United States, this video is for twin flames, and if you are not on the eastern seaboard of the United States, please check your time zone converter for your local time and date. Okay, so a couple of announcements before we begin. This video is really meant to be watched in sequence with the preceding video for Twin Souls, which really heralded in a huge change. So that video, the Sagittarius new moon, can be found on the channel now. If you haven't watched it already, I encourage you to pause this, go watch that first, and then come back to this, because some of the changes that are in the air around this lunation really started back with that Sagittarius new moon. So that one's going to explain the energies that we're all now kind of sitting in and will be for the next several months with much more detail than this video will, because this video is more of a follow on. Hopefully you've been watching all of them in order. Now, also, I'd like to say that on December 28th and on January 4th, I have two live conversations I'm going to be doing with Michaela and Ella. Michaela and Ella are twin flame healers, and they really specialize in utilizing a very new technology to assist twin souls with healing a lot of the energy between them and in themselves so that they can move forward in their connection with union with self, union with the divine, and union with their counterparts spiritually and in the 3D world. I have personally experienced great benefit from the technology that they use. And on December 28th at noon Eastern, we'll be talking about what the technology is, how it works, why it works the way that it does, because it's very different than any other type of distance healing. It actually is a physiological piece of technology. It comes without the subjective filter of the human mind and experience. And then we'll be talking on January 4th at noon Eastern. We're going to be doing a live healing on the channel for the collective. So I'm really excited to have them on the channel, to debut the technology, to share this with all of you guys. I hope you'll be able to join me live for both. Definitely mark your calendar, and if not, you'll be able to catch the recording here on the channel. Okay. And lastly, I just want to say thank you for your patience. I know I had to step offline to really deal with some matters in my 3D world, as this particular season of change kind of came upon me very quickly and I had to act very quickly on certain things. So thank you for your patience, and I hope that you all have been having a lovely holiday. Let's talk about the divine masculine first inside of this particular lunation. In this lunation, here is our divine masculine energy sitting right here in Aquarius conjunct Sagittarius. With the divine masculine energy conjunct Sagittarius, conjunct Saturn, with the divine masculine energy Jupiter conjunct Saturn. I covered this quite in depth in the preceding video, so please pause this, watch it, come back. This energy squaring Uranus brings an energy forth of a couple of things. Number one, it can manifest as resistance to change, as both of these energies are inside fixed signs. Recognizing that something does need to change, that something should change, that I need to take action on something, and simultaneously saying, nope, not interested, unwilling. This is because this is a square where this change has been brewing for some time, and it has been brewing since the beginning of 2020 when Jupiter was trining Uranus. That can bring more of an energy of divine invitation, like, oh, surprise, you can change in this way and your life will get easier. Now, because we're at the square energy, We're now in the energy of divine intervention. I personally prefer divine invitation. I don't prefer divine intervention. Some people really do prefer divine intervention. Like, nope, when it's time for it to change, life will change it for me. And here we are. Life is changing a lot of your circumstance for you. We're now in the place and in the position where if you've not moved forward on certain things and you've been in resistance to change in some area of our own masculine energy, life is going to start to shove. So because we have this energy, the divine masculine, sextiling Chiron here, there is this kind of recognition and initiation around our wounds, no, recognizing, okay, I see how I got myself into this situation. It's because I had this wound, that wound, and the other wound. And now I recognize, okay, I know what I need to do to not fall party to those wounds anymore. This is an opportunity with the sextile to Chiron to overcome the wounds that have been puppeteering us or marionetting us through our lives. Because this energy can be a little bit painful to recognize as we're closing out this year, masculine energy, you may be feeling like, okay, a little raw, a little sensitive. It can be easy at this period of time to fall into self blame, self guilt, or blaming others. But blame isn't really the answer. Accountability is. And so you can leverage this energy to say, okay, I know what other people did, but let me just take a look at me, because where I actually have control is around me and the way I have been harboring these wounds. Aries, the sign of the self. Chiron, wounding. Where have I been holding on to this wounding, and where am I ready to change? There will be insights about how to change forthcoming in February, but this particular period of time will just show you, okay, here's what has to change. Where we've been committed to things that don't serve us, nursing these old wounds and making them the reason why we don't move forward in our lives in particular ways. These things have either already been healed or it's long since time that they did heal, where we've let some of our wounding hold us back from that which is ours. This is a moment of breakthrough. It's a moment of clarity. Unfortunately, because of the Uranian influence here, some of this can come with a pretty high cost, and certain losses, but they're not without their benefit or their gains in due time. Because the divine masculine energy is harmoniously placed in relationship to the divine feminine energy, they're sitting in a sextile to one another. These are sober and slow steps forward between the counterparts because of the way Saturn is sitting in between them. Notice here is Saturn sitting closest to the masculine energy, but Saturn is nonetheless directly in between divine feminine and divine masculine. I love the Saturnian influence here because Saturn isn't going to let anything that would compromise either counterpart unfold. Before something like that can happen, Saturn's going to put the two counterparts in some sort of separation. Saturn is going to call it to attention and say, no, 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 you two do not get to do old stuff, harming stuff, compromising stuff. You two have to do a new thing. Both of you are in new signs. You're going to have to play a new way in your connection. So, if there's been something that's been going on in the connection that's compromised the divinity and the divine light of the connection, if you're in union, this could be the two of you struggling with addictions to, shopping or money or financial addictions. It could be addictions to certain food. Doesn't even have to be an addiction. It could be the two of you, just improperly utilizing time, energy, or money in a particular way. Saturn is going to go, I'm going to show you in no uncertain terms why you can't continue to operate this way and how it's undermining the divinity of this connection. And so the Saturnian energy is forcing all of the divine counterparts to move in a direction that has way more integrity, way more wholeness than ever before. For the divine masculine energy and the divine feminine energy, who happen to be in some sort of separation or non-union state, if there has been anything going on in the way the two of you have been leveraging the connection in order to like substantiate habits that no longer serve you outside of the connection, that too is going to start to wrap up. If you've been trying to, if the connection has been holding together a marriage that's past its expiration date, a job that no longer serves who either one of you is. Um, this is the point in time where one or both of you will take a step back from the connection and just face the music and the thing that needs to get changed on your own. Um, so that you're not dragging that energy into the connection and trying to siphon energy from the connection to maintain that thing that's no longer maintainable or sustainable. Likewise, if you are not intentionally doing this, dialing back from the connection, source may actually facilitate an intervention where source puts the two of you in timeout if the connection isn't in really good standing. If the connection is in good standing, but you're still in separation, this is a period of time where the revelation about the work to be done, the agenda for 2021 is going to start to be made manifest and be made known to you, where you need to work on certain issues within self, certain issues in your communication with counterpart or soulmate, where you need to work on certain things in the material world in terms of being the outward manifestation and expression of love that the connection has inspired in you. This will be a period of time where you start to get clear, okay, I have to move on this, this, and this. I can no longer just, relax and feel good in my connection being what it is. I actually need to take this, leverage it, utilize it to move humanity forward by moving my life forward in this, and this way. So, I mean, I've said it in a lot of my videos prior to this, but I'll say it again here. The point and the purpose of these connections is love. It's not 3D material union. So if you're hoping that some kind of way this is going to force or yield some kind of 3D marriage, romantic partnership that's exactly like, the images of partnership you were raised with, this could be the end all be all. We're missing 90, 80, 70% of the point when that's all we want. How this connection catalyzes the soul to grow and become as a full embodied expression of divine love transcends the relationship alone. It's meant to be carried forward in all of the other areas of our life, not just localized to our romantic world. So if you're finding as you close out 2020, okay, you know, there is a real energy here of me feeling for this is especially for divine feminine energies as you land in the sign of truth. If for the next 11 months, this is where you'll be. If you're finding, okay, yeah, for whatever reason, my partner counterpart has shown me and or told me or both that they are unavailable to receive love in this connection. This is a moment of transcendence that will call you into how you can express that love in the wider world, as opposed to trying to pour it where it doesn't want to be received. So, the importance of this full moon in Cancer and the new moon in Sagittarius can't be understated because we are moving into a very new chapter in our connections. And what that chapter looks like is going to be based on the wisdom and the wounding that occurred in the last chapter. Whatever wisdom has been revealed in terms of where you need to grow, where the holes have been, where the compromises have been, this is a moment of revelation. The new moon in Sagittarius and this full moon in Cancer are now showing you here's the next step. Prepare yourself to take it. One last thing that I'll also say, because some of this energy is here, or a couple of other things. Hang on, let me just take a look and see what the notes say. Yes, because the divine feminine is landing here in the sign of Sagittarius, which is all about truth, freedom, hope, and faith. For her, this desire to connect differently, divine masculine has this desire too. I need to connect differently in this connection. I can't do it the way I was doing it. For her, this is about trusting that no matter what happens in the connection, she's good to go. She's going to be fine. And the connection to Chiron up here, I'll just map that out. Here's Chiron, 5 degrees Aries. Here's the divine feminine, 3 degrees Sagittarius. The trining connection to Chiron is helping her see her wounding for what it is, and it's empowering her to take responsibility for her own healing, because these are both fire signs. There's a very spiritual bent to recognizing we can transcend our wounding, we can transmute our wounds into wisdom, our pain into power. We don't have to stay in wounding and pain, we can move into wisdom and power. This is also going to motivate divine feminine energies to be extraordinarily transparent with their counterparts in a way they have not been before, about what must heal for her life to move forward, not just her connection to move forward. So this is also going to be a transparency with self energy, not just a transparency with counterpart. There's going to be a real energy here for the divine feminines to recognize, okay, yeah, I see how I have been my counterpart may not be blameless, but I definitely see my part in how I have held this connection's growth up. I'm ready to take accountability. I'm ready to move forward. And I trust that no matter what, I'm going to be okay. There's a lot of real empowerment for divine feminine energies around this. And there's a lot of empowerment for her to move forward inside of her own ascension process, and a new energy for both counterparts to be able to do so at this time. There's a real recognition of the truth of where her connection is at this time. So whether your counterpart is available and showing up, not available, not showing up, there's a match in the frequency if you're in union, or there's not a match in the frequency and you need to shift some things around if you're in union. If you're not coming into union at this time, you guys are going to work solo for a little while longer. If you're starting to come into union, but you need to move at different paces around this, all of that is going to start to become crystal at this time. One last thing for divine masculine energies, because divine masculine energy is harmoniously placed to her and is sitting with the Saturnian energy, there is also this catalytic energy. I want to do this differently with the counterpart. I want things to last. I want it to be real. For those of you that are coming into union, there is real commitment energy here between the divine counterparts, where once y'all come together and complete the work that it takes to come together, that's it. There's not going to be any more coming apart if you're coming together at this time. It's going to anchor and be an anchor that lasts, as opposed to in and out and back and forth. Okay. For divine masculine counterparts who may have a business, you may be finding at this time you are rolling out a new technology, as the divine masculine has anchored and landed in the sign of technology for the next 12 months. You may also be starting a new business, because Aquarius represents the new and the next, and really be recognizing I've got to do a whole new thing in the world of my career if I'm going to make something happen in any other area of my life. I have to get this foundation handled first. A couple of other energies that are here that are worth mentioning, but aren't the primary story. They're a little bit of the secondary story I will talk about. Is that we've got a Venus square Neptune, and Venus is also conjunct the South Node. So there's Venus in the South Node. Here's Neptune here. This could herald the exit of a female soulmate to either counterpart. This could also herald a period of time of separation for twins, like pre-union separation. It's an interesting energy. It's an energy where it's like, okay, we're at a distance now in the 3D, but we are planning to come together in the material world. I've seen a lot of people with that energy showing up in my readings. Um, Sagittarius, long distance travel. We've got Neptune and Pisces. Pisces is all about water, the oceans, the seas. So the separation over a distance can be there, but it doesn't mean that you're actually separated in spirit. And I talk more about the Neptune Venus square in the main video for this lunation. If you want to go in depth about what that means, because there can also be some deceptive energy here too, you can have a listen to that. We've also got Venus trining Mars. So here's Mars, here's Venus. They are harmoniously placed to one another. This is an energy that's talking about the soulmates of the divine counterparts almost exiting the twin connection on their own and finding other people to go be with that are a soulmate to them, as opposed to trying to pair the soulmate with the twin. This particular period of time marks that exit of the soulmates, and both soulmates going to find other people. For those of you that are not presently experiencing that, there is for many of you actually. I've spoken to more of you who actually need to pull the trigger on completing your connection with a soulmate instead of waiting for your soulmate to exit on their own. It's rarer that the soulmate will exit on their own, because part of the transcendence and ascendance process for twins is learning how to speak the truth in love, and learning how to not conceal love, learning how to share love openly and transform other people's perceptions of love. That love isn't actually a betrayal, that love is actually an expression of the divine's love for us. So, more of you are in the process of actually needing, at least that I've spoken to, needing to take some action steps to manifest the truth, as opposed to letting life just kind of happen to you. But some of you are also experiencing that your soulmates are like, yeah, I don't think I want to be with you anymore. I'm out. And you're like, wow, okay, I was going to do it, but you've done it. So Chiron is very heavily influencing this lunation for twins. I will say we've got the Chiron speaking in harmony to the new moon. We've got the Chiron speaking in harmony to the sun at this lunation, or speaking in a square to the sun, not in harmony. And what the Chiron energy is talking about is just surfacing the pain points inside of us that have been manipulating us, so that we no longer are being controlled by our pain, but instead utilizing our pain to move into true power. This Chiron energy and the Saturnian energy, because Chiron and Saturn are sitting together in harmony, they are sextiling one another. The two of these together are working deeply on twin connections at this time to help facilitate with the clearing of wounds from this lifetime that have hindered soul with self union, soul with source union, and if you want it, soul with your counterpart union. The two of these are working together. It's an uncomfortable time, but a very powerful time for a lot of clearing, a lot of healing, and a lot of recognition of what needs to happen in the 3D to get what's already happening in the 5D to be made manifest in the material world. It's filled with a lot of motivation, a lot of determination to move life forward in some key ways. And I'm very excited for that for all of us, whether you and your twin are in union and breaking through to your next level of 3D world manifestation, or not in union and you're working on breaking into your next level of manifestation of divine love incarnate on earth. Either way, it's an extraordinarily powerful time for ascension for twins. And I'm so excited to be on this journey with you. Thank you so much for watching, liking, and if you're new here, definitely subscribe. Information like this will be forthcoming in each lunation coming forward, and I certainly appreciate the ways that all of you share. Take great care and bye for now.